Hey guys, CoffinSkate here with a PlayStation 5 Game Collection. Figuring that we're basically like halfway through the console generation with PS5 and Xbox Series X, I thought now would be a good time to kind of look over my collection and kind of show you guys what I have and kind of talk about some of the games I've played. Granted, I've not played everything I own on PS5, but I figured this would just be a good time to do it, since typically when it comes to game collection or video game consoles, the lifespan tends to be like 4 to 6 years. Yeah, so without further ado, I'm gonna start off with all my special editions, which I don't have very many, especially compared to PS4. But I'm gonna start off with all my special editions and move on to all my regular games. So starting off with Final Fantasy 16. This is the deluxe edition. If you guys watched my my favorite games of 2023, you'll know this game topped that list. It wasn't really much of a list, but this was my game of the year. As good as Resident Evil 4 Remake was, this was my personal pick. I just had the most fun with this game. This game was just super fun. I loved the combat. I thought the story was really interesting. I liked the characters, and the soundtrack was unbelievable. I would say this is the closest we're gonna get to like a more RPG version of Devil May Cry, and if you like the idea of that, this is absolutely worth checking out. I absolutely love this game. If you haven't played it yet, I would highly recommend this, and the DLC for this game is also very good as well. Also, I did platinum that, which is something I will mention. If it's a game of platinum, I will mention that too. So, next, not really a special edition, I guess you'd say, or not like, I guess it's not really a crazy one, but Inscription. This is the edition. This is the version that you get for ordering it through Special Reserve, or this is like a separate thing. You could order just the game itself from Special Reserve, but this is like a little special edition that came with some bonuses, including this really cool box. And then the actual game itself had like its own unique, had a different box art from the regular game. So, anyways, and also came with this little card as well. So, anyways, Inscription is one of the most unique and most fun indie games I've ever played. So if you're not familiar with this game is a roguelike card game escape room, like a mixture of those three types of games, and it is so good, so unique. It has a very interesting story that goes places that you would never expected. The graphical style is really cool as well. I really like the music in this game as well. The actual card game portion is actually really good and pretty in depth. Like, it could actually work as a actual card game if you ask me. So I really like Inscription. If you've never played this yet, it is one of my highest recommendations of indie games. Probably one of the best indie games I've ever played. Cannot recommend this game enough. Let's just get this big one out of the way. This is the Persona 5 Royal One More Edition. I have the actual game here as well, which you'll see later, but yeah, this was for a while only through the Atlas's online store. However, since you can now get it on Amazon for like honestly a little bit cheaper than it was, because if I remember correctly, I could be wrong on this one, but I think this was like $160. And it includes obviously the Steelbook edition of the game. It was available for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X / Xbox One, and a Nintendo Switch. But nowadays this is available for like $120. I would say it's not worth that much, but it's definitely that's definitely better than how much it was when this was first released. Again, I don't remember if it was $160, don't quote me on that, but yeah, so not a crazy special edition, does come with some cool stuff, but not like the most exciting if you ask me, so yeah. Alright, next is the Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana limited edition. So here, let me pull out the actual game right here, there we go. I haven't played this yet, if I'm being honest. I really would like to, though, especially now that we have Ys 10 coming out. I definitely want to play some more Ys games, especially with Ys 10 coming out. That looks really good. So, but I have played Ys 9 on the PlayStation 4, and that was fantastic. At first, I wasn't like too big of a fan of it. Like, I was enjoying it at first, but like as I got a little further into it, I started. I don't know. I wasn't really enjoying it a whole lot, but then like as I kept getting, it was one of those games where like I bounced between really enjoying it at first and then just kind of not really vibing with it, and then like towards the end I realized, I came to the conclusion that yeah, that game was absolutely amazing. So yeah, very excited to try this out. I've heard this is one of not the best Ys games, so yeah. And lastly, we got the Trails into Reverie Limited Edition from NES America. I've also not played this yet because I want to play all these Trails games before I hop into this one. So yeah, because I want like the full context of everything that has happened prior to it. So I don't really only need to play the Cold Steel games, which for that one in particular, which I have played all 4 Cold Steel games, especially with Trails Through Daybreak, which is coming out later this year, or like I think during the summer of this year. Especially with that coming out, I kind of want to have full context of everything that happened prior. So yeah. All right, now moving on to my regular games. Okay. Armored Core 6: Fires of Rubicon. This was one of my favorite games of last year. Such an awesome action game. If you're not familiar with the Armored Core series, this is a mech action game, specifically like a mech third-person shooter with a big emphasis on customization and just customizing your mech to for like certain types of missions, and just really fine-tuning for your mech and your build and whatnot. It is super fun. I've played some of the Armored Core games prior to this one, and I gotta say, just from a gameplay standpoint, this is a lot of fun. Do not go into this expecting a Souls-like game, or else you'll be disappointed. There is some elements, like some of the stuff they've learned with the Soulsborne games, you can definitely see in this game in terms of like world building and like some of the mechanics. You can kind of get like that Soulsborne feel, but this is not a Souls game, so it is super fun. I can't recommend this game enough. I have actually played an online match recently, and I actually won, which surprised me. I thought I'd get my ass whooped, but this is really fun. If you haven't played Armored Core 6, I would highly recommend this. Whether you played an Armored Core game before or not, that game is awesome. And if you want the best like performance for the game on a console at least, my recommendation, hear me out for a second, play the PS4 version on a PS5 because that version plays at locked 60 FPS. Similar thing with Elden Ring. So yeah. Of course, if you have a VRR capable display, just use that. But otherwise, if you do not have a VRR capable display and you want to play Armored Core 6 with the best frame rate on console, go with the PlayStation 4 version on a PS5. Next is Chivalry 2. I haven't got around to playing this a whole lot. I did play the tutorial. It seems like a really fun multiplayer game. Of course, I don't know if anyone really plays this nowadays, but I got it for like dirt cheap. So, yeah. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, one of my absolute favorite games so far this generation. I've seen people classify this as a remaster, and like. Yeah, they basically import the same FMV sequences and whatnot, but I don't entirely agree with that. This feels more like a remake than it does a remaster, but I can kind of see where some people are coming from with that. That being said, this is the best way to play Crisis Core without question. My only complaint with this version is, without question, the voice acting. The voice acting is very, very hit or miss. Otherwise, it is a great game. The combat was overhauled. The combat is very overhauled. It looks gorgeous, and it just feels really good to play compared to the original. So if you've not played Crisis Core, this is the version to get. Dead Space, one of my absolute favorite survival horror games. It's such a gory game, and I absolutely love that. Gameplay super fun. From what I played of the original, this is definitely the way to go compared to the original. It also has a very funny It also has a very funny sort of censorship mode where like all the gory stuff is just blocked out with a huge like blur. It's really hilarious looking. Definitely watch a video on it. I know Nick Robinson's put out a video talking about the sort of censored mode for this. But this game was awesome. Very atmospheric. The atmosphere in this game was so good. The soundtrack is very good as well. And the combat was just, it was really fun. So, excellent survival horror game. If you never played Dead Space, highly recommend this. Whether you played the original or not, this is absolutely essential. Deathloop, I gotta be honest, I haven't put a whole lot of time into this, but I've heard really good things about this. I've heard it is a fantastic, very fun sort of first-person shooter. Death Stranding Director's Cut. I mainly got this for the collection. I've only got like 10 hours into Death Stranding on like the PS4. I haven't touched the PS5 version, but I gotta be honest, I actually like when I played Death Stranding. It's honestly pretty relaxing game for me at least. But I see why a lot of people don't like it. This is definitely not a game for everybody. Demon Slayer: The Hinokami Chronicles. I was really getting into Demon Slayer at the time. Demon Slayer, I'd probably say, is my favorite anime. Cyberpunk Edge Runners is definitely high up there. I watched that recently, and that's fantastic. But anyways, yeah, this game, I would only recommend this to hardcore Demon Slayer fans and fans of like the Naruto Ninja Storm series. If you like the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm series, you will probably enjoy this because it's actually done by the same developer. Otherwise, I personally preferred a Demon Slayer fighting game made by Arc System Works because that would have been fucking amazing, especially if it played very similarly to Samurai Showdown, which honestly, that would actually be a good idea for a video. Talking about like some games that I think Arc System Works could do an amazing job with, and Demon Slayer being one of them. I would love to see Arc Sys do a Demon Slayer fighting game in the style of Samurai Showdown because that'd be amazing. But that being said, this game it was a fun time, you know, very easy platinum trophy, but if you are not a fan of like arena fighters, or the Naruto Ninja Storm series in particular, you will not like this. Otherwise, if you're a big fan of that style of game, this is definitely one you will like. My main complaint with this game, aside from just the janky gameplay, is for sure the lack of content. And I've realized, from my understanding, it's pretty common for Cyber Connect 2 fighting games, is the lack of content. There's like fuck all in the way of content. There's a main story, there is a versus mode, an online mode, and that's it. There's like nothing else to it. So like when I think of fighting games, typically I like to see stuff like an arcade mode, or yeah, like an arcade mode. Of course, a lengthy story mode nowadays. Oh, one second, let me grab some water. Yeah, an arcade mode. Yeah, an arcade mode, maybe like a time attack mode to go along with that. Just I don't know. I'd like to see more content in these types of games, and this game seems to be continuing that sort of trend. So, pretty decent game, but it's not absolutely amazing. If you find it for like 15-20 bucks, I would say probably less than that actually. If you find it for like 10-15 bucks, it's actually worth it. Demon Souls Remake. Finally got around to finishing this like about a few weeks, like about a month or two ago. This game is awesome. I do see like some of the complaints people have with this game, with like some of the added detail, or just they kind of messed with this game from like an artistic point of view, but I loved this game, mainly because I felt this game just from a gameplay standpoint, it feels much better to play than the original Demon Souls. Dare I say I like this more than the original Dark Souls. I found some of the stuff from a design aspect that I find frustrating with this game, I find more tolerable than some of the issues I have with the original Dark Souls. Yeah, call me fucking crazy, but I'd love to honestly rank all the Soulsborne games, but I would also have to either just watch a bunch of footage of the other Soulsborne games, or just play through them again, just to refresh my mind on some of the stuff in those games. But that being said, the Demon Souls remake is fantastic. Again, I see some of the issues people have with it, but I just find this to be a much better playing game than the original. So, that being said, if you don't like the remake, the original is still there. You do need a PS3 to play it, unfortunately, unless you have a PC powerful enough to run a PS3 emulator. But that being said, highly recommend this. If you've never played any Soulsborne games before, if you're wondering if this is a good start, I would say it is a pretty decent start. I personally, my recommendation is to start with Bloodborne, because if you can get through that game, you'll be able to get through all the other Soulsborne games. Otherwise, if you've played like the original Demon's Souls or any other Soulsborne game, and you just didn't like it because of how hard they are, avoid this at all costs. This is no different. Dare I say, this is actually one of the harder games. So yeah. Our next, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, the best way to play Devil May Cry 5 without question. If you've never played this game in particular, this is the version to get. You know, it's the same game as the original from 2019 with all the DLC on the disc. Virgil is playable at a turbo mode, legendary Dark Knight mode, and it has some cool features like ray tracing and reduced load times and whatnot. Reduced load times, if you have a PC, you don't have to worry about. It's honestly a thing you don't have to worry about unless you have a PC from like early 2000s or like 2010 or some shit. But now this is the best way to play it without question. If you have not played this yet, it is so good, so good. Elden Ring, so far probably my favorite game of the generation. I still not played Baldur's Gate 3 yet, but yeah, this game was amazing. I've beaten this game like twice. It is so damn good. I played it on both PS4 and PS5 as well. If you're wondering what kind of build I went with throughout this game, I went with strength, dex build, but I also put a lot of runes into endurance and vitality, and then throughout most of my playthrough, when I got what's called the Bloodhound's Fang, I rocked that throughout most of my playthrough. I also used I think it's called the Whirligig Saw. It's the one with the spinning saw. Those who've played Bloodborne, the weapon that was in the DLC that was like the stick with the buzzsaw on it. It's very similar to that. I think it was called the Whirligig Saw, but don't quote me on that. So, absolutely amazing open world RPG. Probably my new favorite open world game. I just love the world. The gameplay was super fun. It expanded upon or took the gameplay of the Soulsborne games a little bit further. Amazing boss fights as per usual, and yeah, it's a great game. If you haven't played Elden Ring yet, I highly recommend this. And cannot wait for the DLC whenever that comes out. Evil Dead the game, I haven't got around to playing this a whole lot outside the tutorial. I definitely want to dive into this, but the reason why I haven't yet is because I haven't watched all of the Evil Dead content. I watched all the Evil Dead movies, including the new one that came out last year, but I'm not fully caught up on Ash vs. Evil Dead, which I should probably change that at some point. But I love the Evil Dead film, so I definitely want to dive into this at some point. And I've heard it's actually pretty fun. Ghostwire Tokyo, honestly, a game that kind of saddens me, mainly because like I love this game. I absolutely love it. I just wish it just feels like people kind of forgot about this game, and it's a damn shame because I thought this was such a cool sort of open world game with like RPG elements. I thought this game was super fun. The world was so interesting, and the atmosphere in this game was so unique. And I mean, it's Tokyo, but with some really unique enemy designs, and not so much like the open world, I should say, when it comes to the atmosphere. Like some of the side quests and some of the missions you do and whatnot can lead into some really cool environments. And I would actually like to describe this game as like a mixture of Shin Megami Tensei and like Silent Hill. Not so much Silent Hill. I'd probably say The Evil Within is a better comparison. But yeah, this game was very good. The story is kind of hit or miss. It's like, yeah, it's not. It's Nothing too crazy to write home about, but the atmosphere and some of the lore is very interesting, and again, the enemy designs are so cool, and the combat is really fun. Although I can see some people finding it repetitive, I personally thought the combat was a lot of fun, so highly recommend this. If you haven't played it yet, it's very good. And the soundtrack kicks ass. As a matter of fact, one of the boss themes in that game sounds very similar to BFG Division from, not so much an overall sound, obviously it doesn't have like the metal sound of BFG Division, but like, if you listen to it, and those who play the game will know which song I'm talking about. If you listen to it, it kind of gave me like BFG Division vibes. So yeah, I just wish it played for a different boss fight. But anyways, God of War Ragnarok. Shame to say I haven't beaten this yet. Awesome action RPG, and yes, I'm calling this an RPG because you know it has RPG elements, it has stats, it has a leveling system. You know, I will say this is an RPG, and I will die on this hill. Anyways, yeah, this game is so good. I haven't finished it yet, but it is really good when I played it. It's definitely on my bucket list. It's just, I think I just kind of got this at the wrong time, or maybe I just needed a break from this sort of God of War style gameplay, because gameplay-wise, it feels very similar to the 2018 game, but I really enjoyed it. I'm really enjoying this when I played it. Hades. I initially got this for the PS4 as like a Christmas gift, and I loved it so much I had to get a physical copy for it for the PS5 because I really like this game. I never finished a run of it, but if you've never played Hades before, this is such a fun roguelike action game. I haven't really played many roguelikes, but this game was super fun. Really interesting story, great characters, excellent character design, and just a really fun game with a badass soundtrack. Cannot recommend this game enough. I definitely want to finish a run of that before Hades 2 comes out. Judgment, never played it, is definitely on my bucket list though. Klonoa Fantasy Reverie series. If you're wondering where this physical copy came from, we didn't get one over here in the US. I actually ordered this from PlayAsia. It's a English physical copy. I don't know which region in particular, but I want to say it's actually from like Asia. But yeah, English physical copy. Ordered it through PlayAsia. Really great game when I played it. I haven't finished the first game yet, but I like what I played of it. It is such an adorable looking game. I cannot recommend this enough. Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Haven't gotten that far into this, but I've heard really good things about it. And it was a game I was looking forward to ever since I saw like some of the initial trailers. Life is Strange True Colors. I actually love this game. I know some people were not the biggest fan of this game, and I know not everyone was the biggest fan of this. I really enjoyed this. I thought the story was really interesting. I thought this had like some of the best characters in the series as well. Really liked the cast of characters, really liked the story, even though it's still not the greatest. Like the writing is still kind of hit or miss. I actually really like the soundtrack in this. The environments are absolutely beautiful. But it's not perfect by any means. Like I said, some of the writing is kind of hit or miss. Even though the dialogue I found in this game would be a lot nowhere near as cringe as the first game. Like I said, a lot of the characters in this game are amazing as well. It is fairly short, honestly. It's like an 8 to 10 hour game. You don't really do a whole lot of exploring in Haven, which is the name of the town in this game. And also this game was $60, which I think games like this shouldn't be $60. Granted, I paid $25 for this, but that's still a lot. The fact that this is $60 at launch is ridiculous to me. So, but yeah, on one hand, it is a full experience compared to past Life is Strange games. Like this had all 5 episodes available at launch. But the fact that this type of game, this game was $60, and how short it is, and for the type of game it is, it's not really that deep in terms of gameplay. Yeah, this shouldn't have been $60. So, but you can find this for like $20 after worth checking out. I really enjoyed it. So, alright, next, Monarch. I haven't played this yet, but if you like Shin Megami Tensei, it's supposed to be made by some people who worked on those games. So if you like the idea of a brand new RPG made by people who previously worked on the S&T series, this might be worth a look. I did actually enjoy the demo from my play. I didn't get too far into the demo, but it seemed pretty interesting. Mortal Kombat 1, much like everyone else, I got this. I didn't get this on release, but I got it around when it came out. Mainly because, like, at my locals, they were running this. They were running this game the week it came out, and I usually bring a setup. I figured I'd buy this game so they'd have an extra MK1 setup. Honestly, we ran this game once, and after that we just went back to playing games like Street Fighter 6 and KOF 15 and whatnot, so... and honestly, it feels like a lot of us kind of just dropped off this game, and honestly, after that week, I haven't played this game a whole lot since then, so... I'm honestly not too crazy about this game. There are other games I'd rather play over this. So, yeah. Like, from a gameplay standpoint, it's kind of fun, but honestly, there are other fighting games I'd rather play at this point, so yeah. Pac-Man World Repack. I haven't gotten that far into this, but I got it for like dirt cheap a while ago. That being said, I never played the original Pac-Man World, so I figured for this, would be a good chance to jump in and I'm gonna play this pretty solid 3D platformer. Persona 3 Reload, the game that I'm pretty sure everyone is playing right now. I haven't beaten it yet, but I'm really enjoying this. I just got done with, like, in terms of how far I am. Sorry, my throat is really dry right now. In terms of how far I am, I just got done with midterms, and I have gotten to the end of the second block in Tartarus, so now I'm just waiting for the second full moon. So that being said, I'm really enjoying this. This is for sure the best way to play Persona 3 Reload, and I know this, to play Persona 3, and I know there's like some contempt with some people saying that this game is missing content from like Persona 3 Portable and Persona 3 FPS, and I don't entirely get that because I heard that content was not that good, so I don't know what the fuck y'all are on, but this game was great. This game is so good so far. This was the reason why I haven't played Persona 3 yet. I was waiting for a remake or some sort of remaster that had direct commands and wasn't bogged down to be just a straight up full visual novel and all that. This was the kind of game I was waiting for, and that it was, you know, it's just a fully realized 3D world, free 3D exploration, and just much better gameplay, and I love a lot of the changes they made to this game. You know, there's no sort of, I forget what they call it. I forget what they call it. It's like a condition system. I can't remember. It's like you can't get tired in this game. You can't get like sick or anything. That's no longer in the game. They added stuff like the shift or the Tom Pass from Persona 5, except in this game it's called Shift. And yeah, I'm really enjoying this so far. I also like how this game, it feels like there's always shit to do in this game outside of just exploring Tartarus. It's very fun. I'm really enjoying this so far. If you haven't played Persona 3 Reload, highly recommend this. Also expect to see this in the upcoming Game Collection update in the future. Alright, next is Persona 5 Royal. This is the Steelbook edition. Yeah, so here you go. Persona 5 Royal, for the time being, because Persona 3 Reload is out, for the time being is my favorite Persona game and is my favorite turn-based RPG. I absolutely love this game, and one thing I will say, Reload, fantastic. I'm actually really enjoying the music in that game. I do gotta say, I kind of like the music in this game a little bit more. And I kind of like the style of this game a little bit more, but that's just me. Really, at that point, it just comes down to which game I thought has which game do I think has like a better sense of style, or which game had a style that I liked more. It really just comes down to personal preference at that point. But I love this game. I haven't beaten the PS5 version because I'm not a huge rush to play through it. But this game is fantastic. I love these sort of stealth mechanics, and the battle system is super fun. You know, the battle system in Persona games is always really good. Yeah, absolutely love Persona 5 Royal. If you have not played this game, if you haven't played Persona 5 before, this is without question the version to get. Has all the DLC minus the Raito Kuzunoa DLC. Has all the DLC on the disc. It plays 60 frames per second. It's just the way to go. Also, that's available on everything now. So, Persona 5 Tactica. I haven't gotten that far into this, so I don't really have much of an opinion on it. But I feel like games like XCOM, it plays very similarly to that. Quake for PS5. This the physical copy. Another game you'll see later on in a future game collection update. But this game, I haven't finished this game yet. I actually never played through the Quake games before. I never actually played Quake until I got the re-release on PlayStation, and it's really fun when I played it. It's just Doom, but with more complex graphics, and it's very fun. Also, fun fact for those of you who don't know, the soundtrack in that game was done by Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails. So, yeah, I'm sure that's common knowledge, but yeah. Resident Evil 4 Remake, platinum for this game, one of my absolute favorite survival, actually no, my favorite survival horror game. This game is just a huge improvement compared to the original. I did not think they would make a game that was already perfect, even more perfect, and somehow they pulled it off. It was amazing. And the DLC in this game is also very good, the Several Ways DLC. Loved the gameplay, graphically looks gorgeous, and the soundtrack is very good. Highly recommend this. Scarlet Nexus, I haven't finished this yet. I'm actually planning on playing through the PS4 version and platinuming that version. This game also has it where when you transfer your save data, you automatically pop up the trophies for this game. But yeah, I do intend on finishing this game up at some point. I've only played it. It's a pretty solid action RPG. It's not like my favorite, but you know, it's got a banger soundtrack, really cool enemy designs, and great character designs, and looks gorgeous as well. So, I also planned Resident Evil 4 Remake. I'm not sure if I mentioned that, but yeah. Shantae, one of the few limited run games I have. Quake, by the way, that was also a limited run release. But like aside from this, I have a couple other limited run releases on like PS4, like Doom 64, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, 2 of the Castlevania collection. So, but I haven't gotten that far into this. I mainly figured I'd pick this up because I know Mystic was picking them up because these games tend to be pretty expensive and rare. I figured I'd kind of join the bandwagon on that, so I've never played the Shantae games before, so I figured this would be a good entry point. And I mean, it's the first game in the series, so. Sonic Frontiers, haven't gotten that far into this, but from what I played of it, it is pretty fun. I've heard some people say this is one of the best Sonic games to come out in a long time. I can't really say because I haven't gotten that far into it, but I like what I played of it. And the soundtrack, that much I will say, the soundtrack is amazing. Especially being like a metalhead, being really into metal music. The fact that all the boss music sounds like just straight up metal music, like, you already got my attention. Soul Hackers 2. This game, well, I like what I've played of it, it was not worth $60. It's mainly the gameplay I have a problem with, like the combat doesn't really have, it doesn't have that satisfying sort of, it's not satisfying to play in terms of like the combat. It doesn't have like, this game doesn't have the I think they call it like the press turn system. I don't exactly remember the exact name for it, but this game, you don't get like an extra turn for exploiting enemies' weaknesses or anything in this game. Instead, you stack all the demons in your stock to do what is called the Sabbath, which does massive damage to all enemies. That's a lot of damage. Had to do the flex tape reference. But no, this game, Like, the story and the characters are very interesting, and the soundtrack is amazing. Also, graphically, I really like this game's sense of style, but it is not like the combat is a big issue with this game. It's not great from a gameplay standpoint. But if you find this for like $10-15, I would say it's worth it for that. Star Ocean: The Divine Force. Haven't got around to playing this yet. I haven't played any of the Star Ocean games before though. I did try the demo for the Second Story R, which is that sort of HD 2D remake of Star Ocean: The Second Story, and I loved that. So I definitely plan on picking that up at some point. But I haven't played this yet. From my understanding, these games are kind of like Final Fantasy or the Persona series, where they're not interconnected. It's not like a direct sequel from a previous game. So I might just dive into one of these and just see how I feel. But never played the Star Ocean games a whole lot, so I haven't played any Star Ocean games aside from the Second Story R demo. So like I said, I really enjoyed that. I plan on checking that out at some point. Street Fighter 6. This is a physical copy. I had to get this because I love this game. It's not my most played fighting game. As a matter of fact, I don't play it a whole lot, but this game is super fun. Such a ridiculously fun game. Looks gorgeous. It's a fun game to play and a fun game to watch. Subnautica Below Zero. I haven't got around playing this yet. I got this for dirt cheap. Tekken 8, my favorite fighting game of the generation so far. Holy fuck, is this game really fun. Looks gorgeous. Gameplay is super fun. The soundtrack is so good. The main story was very good. Arcade Quest was surprisingly good. This is just a really fun, feature-rich fighting game that I cannot recommend enough. And it's super fun to watch as well. So, if you haven't played this yet, it is a blast to play. I cannot recommend this game enough. If you guys want to play me on this, let me know. I go by CoffinSkate on here. If you want to play this, or if you ever see me online, yeah. So it's really fun. I play Jin in this game as well. So, but yeah, I've also planned this. I planned this like a day or two after it came out. I was just really into this, so cannot recommend it enough. Alright, next, Tales of Arise. I haven't gotten that far into this, but I definitely want to dive more into this because I've heard really good things about it. I've heard a lot of people love this game. It looks gorgeous when I played of it, so I do plan on playing more of it at some point. Next is Tormented Souls. If you want a classic style survival horror game, this is basically as classic as you're going to get with like a modern style survival horror game. It has fixed camera angles, it has terrible voice acting, it has team controls as an option. If you like the idea of a classic style survival horror game with like cryptic puzzles, and just the stuff I mentioned a moment ago, this is one I recommend. Yeah, don't much else to say about it. Valkyrie Elysium, I haven't got around playing this yet, but I did really enjoy the demo. And lastly is Void Terrarium Plus Plus. I haven't got around to playing this yet. I mainly just, around the time I picked this up, I just picked it up because I was like, new console. Figured I'd just start picking up some RPGs for it, because, you know, it's my favorite genre. I don't know much about this game. I mainly just picked it up because it's an RPG. It has a really interesting art style, so yeah, I haven't got around to playing this yet. For those of you who have played this, let me know. Is this good or not? Let me know. So there you have it. That is my PlayStation 5 game collection. Let me know in the comment section below what your favorite game is on the console. Whether it's exclusive or not, let me know. I also do want to point out I am going to get Final Fantasy VII Rebirth when that comes out, so expect an unboxing of that soon. The deluxe edition in particular. And yeah, there you guys have it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe, rate, comment, do all that. And yeah, I'm CoffinSkate signing off, and have a great rest of your day.